tries to keep them from the man up above. Don't ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies. Better warn the ladies, he's a devil in disguise. Ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies. Better warn the ladies, he's a devil in disguise. Oh, he's a devil. He's a devil.
That's a great band from Northern Ireland. That's a track called Devil in Disguise. What are they called? The Mighty Mojos, I always forget. I don't know where they're from around. They're certainly Northern Ireland. I must get them in for a session sometime. They're really, really good. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678. The email address is gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. And the text messaging service is 81771. Ken is in here all the time. Ken is making a concentrated effort to make sure. What's wrong with you? Oh, I see. Sorry. Look, you see what he's done? I can't hear anybody. Look, do you see what he's done?
That's it now. But
See what he did? See what he did there?
Your levels are sorted out now. You're going through the hub.
I know, but Ken took my legs off.
I know. But so you're all right now.
I normally
Listen,
perform in two legs.
No,
He's removed my legs.
3 3/4.
What?
You have 3 3/4 legs going to Belfast.
I hope you don't mind this technical talk.
You now have no legs. You're now going.
Ken is in here too much. It's almost as if he's training me. He's decided to grasp on that. We've discovered what the problem is. It's me.
Could
It's
you
me. I'm
do
erratic.
something
What?
for
Can't
me?
you see I'm talking about levels here?
I know, but could you do something for me, please?
Yes, what is it? I believe you're not well today.
Could you get me a copy of that Mojos?
I'll give it to you.
I love that song.
You can have that. Yeah, I've got a couple of copies of it.
You
by all
don't
means.
know anything about them, do you?
Yes, I do, actually. I know the singer, Mr. McLean. He's recorded many, many good songs and sent them to me, but I'm not familiar with
He's
the band.
got a voice that's been lived in, as they say.
It's a lived in.
isn't it?
He's not a teenager.
No, it's a great voice.
Nor is he Methuselah, I have to add. He's a
But
man
that's,
of mature...
that's my music. I want to go and
That's
hear
not your music.
It is.
That's
the
not
sort
your
of-
music.
That's the type of music
I've
that
heard your programme. That's not your music.
I don't play my music for me.
Well, why do you play that crap?
I play it because the people want it.
That's
I play.
the big mistake. Never
No,
make
it
that
is
mistake.
not.
You're trying to please the people. You don't get anywhere trying to please the people because they will despise you for it. If you try to please the people, you think you think there's something wrong with you. Don't do it. I never do it. It's always a mistake. Listen, now, we had a wonderful night last night here in Derry, Londonderry, at Ebrington Square, the old army barracks. It was opened up to the public last night. We had a great concert, and the First Minister and the Deputy First Minister were there to perform the opening ceremony. There was thousands of people there. I noticed you weren't there.
I believe both gentlemen were asking about me.
Yes,
too,
indeed,
as
the
well.
First Minister. The
Yes,
First
sir.
Minister said to me, he said, "Where's Mr. Coyle?" I said, "He's watching Judge Judy." And he started to laugh. I said, "No, he really is watching Judge Judy." And what were you doing last night?
Watching Judge Judy.
Exactly. Would I lie to the First Minister?
No.
That's perjury. You can be thrown away in jail for that. Well, you should have come down. You missed a great night.
couldn't.
No, you couldn't. Why
I
couldn't you?
couldn't. I was. Look at me.
You're not well.
Look at me today.
I think that would have killed you if you'd been there last night because it was a very
so
cold
cold.
night. Yes.
I couldn't go
Do you know what I had to do? I was down there yesterday morning doing a small radio program from there. It's a very exposed area on the end of the Peace Bridge. It's a wonderful area, and I encourage people to go over and have a look at it. It's open now to the public. As far as I know, it's open to the public. Or maybe it's not. I'm not quite sure. I must just find out. It was open to the public last night. It's open to the public now. People can go over today. Yes, of course they can. It is open to the public. That was the opening ceremony last night, but I wasn't sure if they're going to do some work on it because there's continuing work going on it, and I wasn't sure if people want people all around the place, but it's okay. Apparently, you can go over and have a look at it. Well, I went over there yesterday morning, and I noticed there was a stiff breeze blowing in off the foil, straight from the Arctic, and it went up the leg of my trousers. I said to myself, now, it's going to be cold here tonight. And it was cold. Do you know what I did yesterday, first thing? I went to a well-known wholesaler's. I bought myself a pair of long johns, thermal underwear, and vest with long sleeves.
I don't believe you.
I did. And I put them on.
How did you buy them?
How
How did you go into the shop?
But you don't know anything. You don't know where to get stuff. No, you
But
just go and you
it's buying them. Was it a girl ceremony?
Here, yes. Let me tell you how to do it. You go to a shop. It's an outlet, okay?
Yeah, but was there other people in it?
there were other people. They're called customers. And they walk around and they look at stuff. And if they like a thing, they go up to the reception, or what you call the box office, or whatever you call the thing, and they say, I'll have this, please. And they say, well, that'll be €10, or whatever it is, in currency. Yeah.
Did you hold them up and look at them?
No, there's sizes on them. You know what size you are. I know what size I am.
Do they come in a box?
No, they come in a little plastic thing. They sit there. You lift them off the thing. There's medium, large, and small, and extra large. And I lifted the medium, and I said, that'll fit me, because from past experience, I know that I'm a medium. I've tried things on before.
What colour are they?
They're white. And I called up and I said, I'll have these thermal long johns, please. And that'll be $9.99.
Is there a top with them?
There is a top with them.
And do they button?
They're not a whole. They're not a kiddie suit or anything. They're two separate ones.
Yeah,
There's
but
a vest.
do they join up? Do they button up?
No, and there's no flap on the arse either.
But how do they?
It's like a pair of tights, except there's a fork on them.
Yeah, but the top is the wee coat.
No, it's like a vest. It's a thick vest. It's a thermal vest. It's not a wee coat. What do you think? I'm some kind of baby? It's just an ordinary vest, but it's a thicker fleece vest that retains heat. It's a thermal vest. And the long johns are thermal long underwear. That's what the people wear when they're climbing mountains and stuff like that there. So I had those on last night.
Did the girl look at you in any way? Did she snigger? Did she laugh or anything? Did she?
She'd laugh because
did she say they?
Do you think people laugh because you buy thermal underwear?
Yeah, I would think so.
Why would they laugh?
I don't know. I think I'd.
I mean, if you're working a chip shop and a fella comes in and says, "Give me a fish,"
it's different.
Do you laugh at
It's
him?
different.
What's wrong with thermal underwear? No, what is wrong with thermal underwear?
You're wearing them, and you're buying them from a girl, and the girl knows
what.
what you're wearing.
But what's wrong? There's not to be ashamed of.
It's not nice.
It's not nice.
No,
Well, did you tell that to Sherpa Tenzing?
It's different. Sherpa Tenzing's wife probably went out and bought them for him.
Oh, the thing is that I bought them myself.
Yes.
That's the thing that you find unacceptable.
Yes.
Are you capable of going in and buying a thermal underwear vest?
No, wouldn't even know where to go.
I mean, if I showed you where to go, would you go in?
No, I would not.
If I bring you out today, would you go and buy a pair of long johns?
No, I wouldn't look at them.
Would you be? You wouldn't look at them.
No,
Would you be ashamed of the fact that the girl would know that you're going to wear them?
I would. Yes.
There's no feet on them or anything, you know, or a flap of the arse. Are
you wearing them today, by the way?
No, I'm not, because I'm not.
Are you?
Today. No, I'm not.
I'm going to check you.
What are you going to do? Take off me trousers?
Oh,
I'm not wearing them today. I wore them last night, and the reason why I wore them is this: I was the master of ceremonies at the ceremony last night, right? Now, everyone on the stage, all the dignitaries, were all wearing overcoats, which is okay, but the master of ceremonies never wears a coat. Now, you must know this. This is for future reference if anyone ever asks you to do that. The master of ceremonies, the man with the microphone, cannot come on wearing a coat because he looks as if he doesn't belong there. The man who's the master of ceremonies must always be looking smart and must have a suit on. Not necessarily coat and tie, but he has to look sharp. And I was looking sharp, and Martin McGuinness, the deputy minister, got up and said, well, somebody give Gerry Anderson a coat. He said that on the stage, and everyone laughed. But they didn't know what I knew. I wasn't cold because I was wearing thermal underwear. And I was able to stand there.
You had Manny's knickers on? Your Uncle Manny's?
My uncle, no, these are new ones. He threw his away when they became brown. Anyway, I'm standing on the stage and people are saying, look at him standing up there, immune to the wind and rain, immune to the arctic howl of the wind. Look at him standing there, noble, proud, hair flying in the wind. Look at him, feels no cold, feels no pain, because you know why? He's doing it for his city. And also, what they don't know, he's wearing thermal underwear, and therefore nothing can reach him. Nothing can get at him. You see, you should learn from me. You see, you don't like me, but just because you despise me so much that you don't realise.
I do not.
You do. You can't understand how I go into a shop and buy something.
I know.
But why can you not go into a shop and buy something? If I said this to you, okay. If I said this to you...
Now, don't you embarrass me.
No, I'm not going to embarrass you. If I said this to you, listen, I know you have no uncles. Pretend you have an elderly uncle. Pretend you have an elderly
I have no uncles.
I'm saying, I know. Pretend you have an elderly uncle.
I don't think I have any aunts either.
Pretend you have an elderly uncle, and he's
I
confined.
have no aunts or uncles. Did you ever play that game, aunts and uncles?
No. Doctors and nurses, yes.
No, we played aunts and uncles. Anyway, right, I'm going to pretend.
You've got an old elderly uncle, and he's in bed, right? And you're the only one that is there to look after him. You're not married or anything. This is an imaginary scenario, and you're his only relative, and he lives at home, and you're visiting him, and you're looking after him, and you're doing the best you can because you're his only living relative, and you've no daughters or wives or anything.
Just me and him.
Just you and him.
Okay.
You know,
right,
and you discover that he needs a Poe. onto the bed.
Right.
Because the bathroom is downstairs. Mm-hmm. Right. You discover where you can buy a pole. Would you go and buy a pole?
No.
You see, you wouldn't. You'd let him just pee in the bed.
No, I would knock at Mrs. Doherty next door and tell her.
And well, what if Mrs. Doherty says, why can't you buy that pole yourself?
I would say to Mrs. Doherty, will you be downtown on Saturday morning?
Yeah.
And she would say, yes. I said,
would you buy me a pole?
Patsy
needs a pole. Patsy needs a pole. And I'll tell you, Patsy needs a pole, and Barney needs a pole, and Fonzie could be doing with a hot water bottle.
Your levels are all over the place.
No.
You're roaring and popping. Right, this is the first test now. This is the first phone call.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to test your new...
Okay, I got my eyes on
your
the
new
dials.
desk. Go ahead.
Okay, hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Emma, will you fix that thing?
Fixed.
Emma,
What's
hello,
that?
good morning.
What? Say hello, Lois.
Hello, Lois.
Oh, hello, Gerry.
Did you not hear me there a minute ago?
Oh, no, sorry, Gerry. I was in the other room.
Beyond the
Gerry,
Poe?
No, I've got a poem for you called The Measure of a Man.
All right, then. This is one
But
of the
before
poems.
I start, my husband wants to know where he can get Donna Taggart singing Raglan Road because he tried HMV and they said they couldn't get it.
Donna Taggart just sent me an email today. She's just back from her honeymoon. And if you're listening, Donna, will you tell us where we can
Sorry,
get that?
Gerry, you're
Very faint.
sound very low.
There you are.
You see, but this is not.
There you are.
This is the ideal situation. And still, she can't hear me.
Yeah, but you were talking rather low.
I wasn't talking rather low. Look, I'm looking at me levels. Ken says to me, look at that leg there. So I'm looking
Right.
at this leg. And I'm not going above 6. It means that everything that I do is right. She can't hear me. But it's not my fault.
Yes, you're talking low now.
I'm
you
not
see.
talking low.
You're all right. That's a bit better.
You see.
All right, then, okay. And tell me about the poem, then.
Oh, yes, this is called... We had a chap, he looked a bit like a Red Indian chief.
Did he?
He was the boss, you see,
Boss of what?
in the civil service.
Very few Red Indian chiefs in the civil service.
Well, he had black hair, but he had big black glasses. All he needed was the feather headdress.
Maybe that would have been an improvement. They may have...
But this is about him.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
Right, the measure of a man. You know the way there's that saying, the measure of a man?
Yes, indeed.
He stood there below me in the grey flag yard, with his feet splayed right angled, hands thrust in checkered pockets and his head threw back. He was fully wrapped in conversation. Doesn't rhyme, Gerry, but sure. I looked from my open window. I was upstairs that warm, sultry afternoon to gain the measure of this man. I only knew when he spoke with cool, clipped voice. I listened, and the day could seem quite long and dark without a sight of him. When he looked at me, I would try to see if any sign of emotion would show in the clinical cool of his eyes. If by some gesture he might betray some warm feeling towards me, then all I see are measured looks and hear some measured words. These do little to fill my empty soul.
That's lovely.
You like it?
See what I'm
Well,
going
the
to tell
story behind that, he was my boss, but I used to have a wee Honda Express that I ran into work in, and in this yard one morning, I was late and I was flying in, and I toppled over on my bike, but he did lift me up off the ground and set me back.
You liked him, didn't you?
But that's the story, Gerry.
But you liked him, you liked him.
You like it?
You liked him.
Did I like him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. That's good. Do you know what I'm going to tell you? To see when you were
Pardon?
reading, see when you read your poems.
Gerry, is it all right if I call you in now and again?
Of course,
More?
of course, I want you to. I want to tell
Do
you.
you?
I want to tell you something.
Yes.
I have listened to Seamus Heaney reading his poetry, and I have fallen asleep in the middle of it. Whenever you read yours, I listen to every word. I think
Thank you, Gerry.
you're better than him because I can't take that Seamus Heaney stuff.
It's all male-dominated, and I'm not being sexist, but it's very hard for a female to break into the field of poetry.
Indeed, yes. Maybe perhaps you're using the wrong words. It's very important to use words that
I
people
know
don't
that,
understand.
But this is written from the heart.
Yes, use big words and people don't understand and convoluted meanings and try and bring them in so they come in because they don't understand and they want to feel part of a club that doesn't understand what he's saying. So
Yeah.
what wonderful sonnets and indeed onomatopoeia.
By the way,
thank
I
you very
found
much.
a very old book by Tennyson. It must be about 100 years old. It's
Yeah.
down south.
Yeah.
1884.
Lovely.
And all the pages are all like tangled up, big thick pages.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I do like poetry, and I hope you liked it all right.
I loved
think
it.
You did.
You ring me whenever you feel like holding forth. Okay?
Thank you, Gerry. I'll be happy to do that.
Okay.
What about Donna Taggart? My husband's going to say, did you ask Gerry about Donna?
Donna, she just come
Singing
back.
Raglan Road.
She sent me an email. I told you, and I'm going to ask her to.
Sorry, I didn't hear that, Gerry.
She's just back from her honeymoon. She sent me an email today, and I want to ask her now to tell me where they can get
That's
your.
great.
Google it.
thing. What?
You can download it. Google it. Get
Can you?
Donna
Let
Taggart
me get
CD
that
on
done.
her website.
What's the website?
Donna Taggart.
I'll get
That's not her
I'll get my
website.
It's
Right.
something I don't know. Emma,
Well, why do
just-
you open your mouth if you don't
Emma
know?
handed me a piece of paper and it says
Sounds like-
Declan rings. You can get Donna Taggart CD on her website.
Well, it wouldn't have been nice to tell me what the website is.
All right, Gerry.
And the man didn't know the address, and he said to Emma, "If you Google the website, Google Donna Taggart's website,
Google Donna
Google her,
Taggart's
and you
website.
might
I've
get her
got that.
website."
Can you hear the woman talking here? Google. Can you Google? Can you Google?
Can you go? My daughter can.
Ask her to Google
I've
Donna.
got a laptop. That's what I do my poetry on, but I don't have the internet.
Ask her to Google Donna Taggart. And,
All right, Gerry.
All right then.
And I'll ring you back with some more. I'm glad you liked it. It's just sort of feminine, how as a female, how I felt.
I love it. Thank you
Thank
very
you, Gerry.
much. Thank you.
You're very kind.
Thank you. No, I'm not
Bye.
kind. I'm being honest. I love it. Okay. Bye
Cheers.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. And she's very talented.
Did you get
know.
any cards yesterday? Any flowers? Any gifts? Any? Did you
Jonathan writes to me.
get- No.
He said
No.
time's coming up to 8 minutes to 11
Not a
o'clock.
card. Not one card that you received yesterday.
I have a letter here from a gentleman who wants to know. Hi, Gerry.
I got a red rose yesterday. Someone sent a red rose to Radio Foyle for me.
Was there poison in it?
Oh, there you go. That was a nice thought, wasn't it? I'd like to thank that person, whoever it was. And Emma got one.
They probably
and-
peed
and
on it before they
Janet
sent
got
it.
one. They didn't pee on it.
How do you know?
Well, I smelt it.
Just in case. Here's a new word we've been introduced to. Councillor Jim. No, Jim Rogers. What
Yes.
about you? Councillor Jim Rogers, what a star, Jonathan says, this morning he invented a new medical condition. Obviously, maybe perhaps Jim Rogers has been on the wireless. We don't know yet. He said this morning he invented a new medical condition. It's called tubular sclerosis.
Tubular.
Tubular sclerosis. It's nearly as painful, it says, as an hysterectomy. Tremendous, as he would say. Good man, inventing new diseases for us to suffer from and maybe perhaps to perish by. I'm going to play some music now. Watch these levels. My hands are a blur as they fly across the machinery. That's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That caught me on the hop there. I don't know what it is. It's a status quo thing anyway. I was the rather windswept woman who met you earlier yesterday on out in the Galvin Hospital car park. As I mentioned, I'd love it if you could play a request for my mum, Mary Hughes, on today's programme. She's been in hospital since December after a fall, and it would really cheer her up if you could play When I'm 64 anytime after 11:30 a.m. Can we get that? Can we get that?
What?
When I'm 60, you should listen to programs sometimes. It's great. When I'm 64. Could we get that? For a lady who's in hospital and recovering after a fall.
That's no problem.
Thank you very much indeed. We'll play that after 11:30 a.m.
Right.
Will you remind me about that?
Yeah, well, you could. Why did you start it after the 11 o'clock news? Just start your program with that.
Well, the reason I'm not doing that is because she said, could you please play it any time after 11:30 a.m., which I've already read out twice.
Yeah,
In other words-
keeping it then, wouldn't he?
Yes,
Yeah,
until she's listening.
Tommy Fleming was on BBC Breakfast this morning on BBC One. Did Gerry see him? Asked Lee.
I didn't see him. No, he's a very... I like Tommy Fleming a lot. And he's a great
Changed your
singer.
opinion.
What?
Happy birthday to Russian Cosgrove of Belfast from all the girls in the passport office. Do you have any Julia Turner or Michael Jackson? Russian is...
Jackson? Yes.
Look, stop it.
Jackson? Yes,
I says
okay.
Michael Jackson.
Jackson.
Russian is Jerry's #1 fan.
What about an outside broadcast where you take Sean into a number of stores and show him how to buy Long Johns? That might not work.
No.
It might not sustain. I'm not quite sure. Maybe perhaps you could try that. But, I don't know.
You're the sort of boy that wouldn't feel at all embarrassed or awkward walking through girls' things.
I often do that.
I thought that.
In Debenhams, I often walk through
Yes.
the girls' underwear section just to see what's happening.
I thought that. And you would...
And I always walk through Boots as well because it's a shortcut and I like them through. I like looking at the girls who are working in the counters because the girls in Boots are lovely. They're beautiful. And I just like, not in any, lecherous way. I like beauty. I'm not like you. You despise beauty because you know you'll never have it. I've had beauty. I love beauty. I just I like looking at lovely girls. It's just Father Ted. I like looking at beautiful girls, not in any lecherous way. I just like
Well,
it.
in your opinion, it's not lecherous. But how do girls feel? A guy standing looking at them, like a fella standing in the middle of girls' underwear. You understand? You're standing
No,
there.
I'm not. I don't do that.
Surrounded by rails and rails of
I don't do that.
of nicky-nacky news, and there you are looking over the rail.
No, I don't do
at
that.
a girl.
I don't do that.
What's
I
that
just
girl
glance.
thing?
I just glance at someone.
Well, when do you look at them?
Now, sometimes girls are too sensitive, but sometimes the liberated ones, sometimes they take exception. Now, something happened to me the other day. I was standing in a supermarket, and a girl passed me, a woman actually of some age, and she walked past me, and she said a belated hello, and she went, "Oh, hello," and I looked past her, and I said, "Oh, hello," and she looked at me, and then she stopped, and she came back. She said, "Is that the way you look after people when they say hello? In other words, you're checking me out, aren't you?" And I said to her, "Well, you said hello and I turned round. Is that a crime?"
Well, girls do that. When a girl walks past another girl, the girl will take her from the feet up. Wasn't that right? Head down, just look her up and down.
How do you know?
I'm told.
On 92 to 95 FM,
and 1341 medium wave.
this is BBC Radio Ulster.
BBC News at 11 o'clock. I'm Kerry Martin. The dole queue in Northern Ireland has grown again as more people claim benefits, but the official unemployment rate has fallen slightly. Our business and economics editor Jim Fitzpatrick explains the contradictory figures.
Official unemployment is measured by the Labour Force Survey. By that measure, the new rate for Northern Ireland is 7.2%, a fall of 0.1% and below the UK average. That figure is arrived at by a detailed survey of a rolling sample of the population. But many local economists prefer to rely on the claimant count. That is the number of people claiming job seekers allowance. That number grew again, up 600. There are now 61,500 people claiming job seekers here, a rate of 7%, which is 2% above the UK average and the second highest of the 12 UK regions. Northern Ireland also has the highest rate of economic inactivity in the UK. That is people not officially seeking work. So while one single measure may look positive, the whole picture tells a different story.
It's emerged that no central monitoring system is in place to collate the total number of Pseudomonas cases in Northern Ireland. Since December, 4 babies have died after contracting the infection. Checks for the bacteria have been introduced in neonatal units, but there are none in other areas of high dependency. Speaking on The Nolan Show, bacteria expert Professor Hugh Pennington stressed the importance of tracking any outbreak in our hospitals.
The information is being collected by people who are looking after the patients. It's not that they would have to do something new. It's a very simple administrative task, and I would sincerely hope that they do it.
A man armed with a gun has stolen an undisclosed sum of money and cigarettes from a supermarket in North Belfast. The incident happened on the Crumlin Road just before 8 o'clock last night. No one was injured and the robber made off on foot in the direction of Bilston Road. Sport now. Here's Grant Cameron.
It's unclear whether a finger fracture to his left hand will force Ulster rider Eugene Laverty to miss the start of motorcycling's World Superbike Championship. Laverty was testing at Phillip Island in Australia when he sustained the injury. Ryan Giggs, Dimitar Berbatov and Patrice Evra were all absent as Manchester United's squad left for Amsterdam and tomorrow's first ever Europa League game against Ajax. The future of Rangers Northern Ireland players remains uncertain following the club's decision to go into administration over an unpaid tax bill. The Republic are up 3 places to 20th spot in FIFA's latest world rankings. Northern Ireland are 86th and unchanged England are batting first in cricket's second one-day international with Pakistan starting now in Abu Dhabi.
Now with the weather forecast, here's Cecilia.
It's mild today. Temperatures should reach 9 or 10 Celsius, although it will feel cooler in places due to the gusty northwest wind. Apart from a few bright spells, chiefly in the southeast, it will be cloudy again with a scattering of drizzly showers. Winds will ease this evening and many places will have a dry night, cloudy for much of the time too, with lows of 4 or 5 degrees.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
Traffic's largely moving well across the province at the moment, but roadworks are continuing to cause minor delays in some areas. In County Fermanagh, the Derna-Wilt Road in Rusley is closed between Ahadrumsey Road and Dristeranan Road, and that's continuing until next Friday. Whilst in Tyrone, motorists travelling in and around Castlederg should be aware that the Orchard Road is closed between Lisdoo Road and the Donegal County Council boundary until Sunday. And finally, if you're travelling on Ulster Bus Services 80A and 80B, please note that the buses will not pass through the New Mills Village today and that passengers should instead use the bus stop at the bottom of the Quintimus Road. Bernie Allen reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, should drunks be locked up to sober up? That's what David Cameron's talking about. He says public drunkenness is a scourge, costing the UK millions a year. He's looking at US-style drunk tanks. Should we do that here? Should Ballymoney spend £20,000 celebrating the Diamond Jubilee? A Sinn Féin councillor says the Queen herself wouldn't support that sort of spending. Would you? Is it a good use of your rates? And who's afraid of the big bad wolf? A new study says traditional fairy tales are too scary for today's children. Do the little piggies die or go to their brother's house when you tell it? Is it more mollycoddling? Join the debate. Talk back at 12.
Thank you, Wendy. Our word for today is finger fracture. Our word for today is finger fracture. Ken has just been in. Ken has put a piece of tape on the desk.
Right.
And he wrote on the piece of tape, desk. I mean, you know, I could have figured that out. What's he trying to do? I think I'm stupid altogether.
I love to see them.
There's nothing on the chair. I don't know what it is.
Come sneaking round my skirt tail looking for more. If you ain't running from the past, you ain't making my heart beat fast. You ain't chugging your paycheck, you ain't hugging on my neck. Well, I've been looking for trouble from the get. Them cowboys back where I come from won't quit. Cutting up tires on an oyster shell, siren screaming and it's running like hell. Mama's on the front porch staring him down. Ladies at the beauty shop coming unwell. If the Lord wants you, neither do I. shine on a puppet with a clip-on tie. If the Lord wants you, neither do I. I hired that boy to cut my grass, nailed in a shingle but he couldn't get past. Staring at the bottom of his low-slung pants, he says he's gonna take me to the big buck dance. Well, if the Lord wants you, neither do I. Hair jacked up and necklines plunging low. Some snake hip shirt rip giving me lip, rifling my purse and stealing my tips. There's something about a man can affect that lean, keeping his hat on yanked down me. If the Lord wants you, neither do I. Play born to lose and you light my fuse. I'm a sucker for a bald-faced lie. If the Lord wants you, neither do I. If the Lord wants you, neither do I.
That's great. That's Gay McIntyre, the best alto saxophone player, I think, ever. In Ireland, in Britain. Gay McIntyre from the city, Derry Stoke, Londonderry, with the Linley Hamilton Quartet. Linley Hamilton, of course, broadcaster on Radio Ulster. And that's a special request from Walter Love. Walter Love is a great jazz enthusiast. I'm sure he enjoys listening to Gay. That's a track called The Shadow of Your Smile. And the album is called The Music Within Me. And the reason why I played this CD really is because I played this a number of times before, and people are complaining to say that they can't buy it. Well, you can buy it on Light Records, LYTERECORDS. Just Google Light Records. It's for sale. I have it in front of me, and I've got the email. I've got the web address, but it's quite complicated. It's www.davidlittle DAVIDLYTTLE.com. davidlittle.com. So it's not complicated, but there are things added onto that, but I'm not going to give you those because you never get them down. At davidlittle.com or Light Records, and the album is called The Music Within Me, and hopefully I'm trying to get Gay and the Linley Hamilton Quartet to come and play a live session for us, maybe some Friday very soon, and let's try and get that organised. See, men are horrible.
LYTTLE.com.
Yes.
.com. Okay. What's that? Would you... hello?
Yes.
No, but you're not paying attention.
The kitchen will be getting a deep clean tomorrow.
Your kitchen? At
kitchen
home?
Upstairs.
Eh?
It's getting a deep clean tomorrow.
Well, the radio foil kitchen?
Yes.
A deep clean?
You have to leave the kettle, paper cups, milk, etc. in the upstairs foyer area. Okay?
It's brilliant. What time's that at?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Right. Yeah. We could do a broadcast from it.
Okay.
Listen, any chance you could play a wee Gerry Vale song? It's for a gentleman who's in hospital, in the Royal Victoria Hospital. His name is John Griffin, and this song's from all his work colleagues down in Belfast Docks, and they're all thinking about him. So John Griffin, if you could, Gerry, play a wee Gerry Vale song.
I know what you're at. You've been trying to get me to play a Gerry Vale song for years.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
I quite like Gerry Vale.
I know you do. I know what you're at. And this is not to belittle the person who's ill.
Oh, no.
I will certainly play a request, but I'm not going to play Gerry Vale because I know what you're at.
Yeah,
Valentine's Day.
By the way, you can get Donna Taggart's CD in McQuaid's News Agent in Fintona. Where's Fintona?
Near Omagh.
Where?
Well, you go through Omagh and then you go straight on. And then
but is it on the way to Dublin?
Yes, if you're going to Enniskillen, yes. That's between...
where? No, tell me where.
Clogher 5 Mile Town.
Tell me how
you go through Omagh.
Fintona.
Right?
You go through Omagh. All right, go through Omagh.
You go through Omagh and then you head in the direction of Enniskillen. Okay?
Through Omagh?
Yes.
Go to Enniskillen?
Yes.
And is it parked in there somewhere between...
On the way, you'll see a sign which says Fintona. You turn right and you go and you find Fintona, which is there.
Is there a dance hall in Fintona?
I really don't know.
Do
you know something? I don't care.
No, but I thought perhaps it was one of your showband stops.
It may have been. Who lives in Fintona that we know well?
That's what I
Derek
don't...
Mahaffey.
Derek Mahaffey. Well, I think it's further than that.
Further than what?
What? It's further than Omagh.
It is further than Omagh. It's past Omagh. Yeah, but not too far. Yesterday I rang my husband, says Michelle, and I said, 3 of the girls in the office have just received flowers for Valentine's Day. They're absolutely gorgeous. My husband said, that's probably why they got them.
There's a wee call for you.
My wife said, do you know what day it is? I said, Tuesday. She said, and Tuesday is day before Wednesday. She said, stop messing about and tell me where my Valentine's gift is. I smiled and I said, okay, you win. It's in the cupboard. A few moments later, she returned and said, I don't get it. I looked in the cupboard. I said, what did you find? She said, nothing. That's what I got you. Isn't that cruel?
That was hateful.
Isn't that horrible?
Hateful man.
That's the type of people, that man should never get married.
No.
Listen, look at this.
What about Alan?
I saw this last night. Did you see this last night? Spotlight. Spotlight have now gone into show business.
Spotlight?
Have gone into show business. Do you know who they had on? Lord Laird and Barry McElduff.
Oh, I saw the trailer for it and I said to myself...
Show business.
No,
it was like X Factor. No. It says, did you see Little and Large in the shape of Lord Laird? As Lord Laird, of course, is better known as Lord Squared. And Barry... Did you get that? Lord Squared? Lord Laird? Mm-hmm. Did you get that? I'm just checking. Yeah. And Barry McElduff in Scotland last night. What a fright to inflict on the poor people of Scotland. Both men pushing large bellies in front of them, too much haggis for Lord Laird, too much champ and buttermilk for Barry. Lord Laird, opinionated and rough as a bag, told the Scots in no uncertain terms to stall the wedding. When it came to leaving the United Kingdom, wee Barry urged them to leave as soon as possible, hoping for a knock-on effect in Ulster. What do you think? Why do we have to watch this old tosh? what do the BBC and UTV think of anything? Everything that happens in the world impinges on Ulster. But that's what they always say. Titanic sank. Was there anybody on it from Ulster?
Yeah.
The invasion of... Well, there was, as a matter of fact, quite a number. Maybe that was the wrong example. The invasion of Iran. How will it affect Northern Ireland? The invasion of Afghanistan. What does it mean for Belfast? Giant fish eats 15 sailors. What does that mean for Armagh? What does that mean for the people of Ulster? What does it mean for them? World comes to an end. People of Ulster say no.
Shush. You're distorting.
I know. I like.
Oh, by the way, Ken explained what the desk label is about.
What is it about?
You've been looking at the wrong needle.
Yes.
That sign saying desk is your desk needle.
Oh, was that? I thought he just meant here's the desk.
No.
Well, look, I see what you mean. When I look at it now and I shout, it means that you're much louder than me.
Yes, you see. So that's why you're distorting. What about Alan?
Dory Previn died yesterday. Could you please play something of hers? She was a fine singer, perhaps Lady with the Braid. Thank you very much. That's from Norman in Belfast. Good on you, boy. Keep wearing the thermals. Sarah Travis, the news presenter, was reporting from Ebrington Barracks in Derry/Londonderry last night. I wonder, was she wearing thermal underwear? Well, I know for a fact that she wasn't. Licking up to so-called politicians after always slagging them. Street cred gone. Michael in Belfast. Well, no, I'm not licking up to politicians, but you can't be rude to people, can you? I mean, if you're up on the stage with people, you can't be rude to them.
Of course not.
Your arse has collapsed. I saw you last night. You see. Gerry, can you please play a Justin Black song for Kate in Belfast? Many thanks. I will actually quite shortly because I'm a big fan of Justin Black's, as regular listeners to this programme will know. I got 3 treacle farls for Valentine's Day from my lovely wife. Now, there's love. That's love for you. 3 treacle farls. I bought her 2 bars of fries, chocolate creams. Magic.
Do you remember
true love.
Do you remember your mother baking treacle scones?
Yes, I do.
And putting raisins and sultanas on it. Did you put sultanas on it, or did you just put raisins?
Oh, I can't remember.
Maybe just raisins.
I think there was a...
No, just raisins.
I don't think we held with sultanas.
No.
I don't think we liked sultanas. They're too exotic for us.
No, we had raisins and sultanas.
Well, we weren't sultana people. We were raisin people.
We were raisin people too as well. But I think in cake, there may have been cake with sultanas on it.
Would your mother put a bottle of stout in a Christmas cake?
No.
My mother would have done that.
No.
After my uncle drank it.
No.
I just Googled the Mighty Mojos. They're from Ballymena. Of course they are. I'm sorry, I made a mistake there. Do they have a released CD? If so, where can I buy it? Went on to Amazon. There's nothing there.
I'm going to start making apple cakes.
Well, I think you should. You've reached that terminal stage. I receiving the Muppet Show loud and clear today after last Friday's super programme with... He says Christian Bird, but it wasn't Christian Bird, Anthony Toner. I can clearly hear that you didn't take long to get back into that groove of a musical quagmire, needle jumping and skipping a decent tune, love and happiness. You won't play it. We still wait with bated breath. And what do you do? Deliver material that would not be fit to put around your roses. That's Steve and Bangor. P.S. Your levels are away now. At least God is looking out for us. I think you will like this. It's the 15th of February. I know it will be late, but I don't need a certain date to say I love my mate. That's from Paul in Ballycastle. That's a belated Valentine's. These are little text messages that come in. Some of them make no sense at all.
What about Alan?
What?
Alan.
Is he on
what?
Hold on, I'm just watching my level there. It's great. Look at me watching me levels. I've never done this before. I'll get fed up with it, I think. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, good sir. How are you?
Let me just turn you up a little, Alan. I'm watching my levels.
Right.
Okay, level.
You're getting me now?
I'm getting you now. What's good? Look, listen to the balance of that. Listen to the balance of that. What can we do for you, Alan, today?
Well, I'm on to berate that Coyle fella.
Oh, good.
What sort of a man is he at all?
What sort of a man are you?
Well, I've got to hear the complaint first.
All right, then I have to hear the complaint.
All this nonsense about not being able to shop for things that he thinks embarrassing. Where would he be if he has been like myself? My wife had a stroke and other very severe illnesses 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she can get out and about a little bit, but I have to take her.
Mm-hmm.
So I take her and march into the shop.
Mm-hmm.
And we go along to the lingerie department and I help her select her bras, I help her select her knickers, her tights, her stockings, everything.
Mr. Coyle is going grey.
Yeah,
as you
I can
speak.
imagine so. What
Yeah.
sort of a man is he?
Oh, let me
Like,
just.
I
let-
walk up with these items with her on my arm because I have to hold her arm on one side. And by the way, he'll die at this. I'm actually carrying her handbag.
He's fainted.
She has a walking stick
Emma,
on one
lift him up.
side, and I'm supporting her other side.
He's getting smelling salts now.
Yeah, yeah.
You asked earlier what sort of a man. I think he's a what's sexist pig. I think is the word I'm looking for. Sean, I hope you don't mind me using that term.
That's even too weak, Gerry.
I don't think
he's,
so.
He's an ersatz man. He's not a man at all.
Ersatz, you're an ersatz man.
He's not a man at all.
He's a man, yes, but he's
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 not.
an old-fashioned man.
No. Look, Gerry, I'm older than both of you.
What age are you?
I'm 71.
Oh, you're much older than both.
No. Older, not much. Not much.
Mr. Coyle, defend yourself.
I can't.
Mr.
because
Coyle is a
Tony's-
traditional. Mr. Coyle's a traditional man.
No,
you see,
Tony's situation
I'm a
is
metro.
serious situation,
Oh, of course it
and
is.
I can't go down that road with you, Tony. And I sympathise for you, and I sympathise for your wife, of course. You know,
No.
but I
You
can
don't need to
understand.
sympathise.
All
There's
right,
no
well,
sympathy needed. It's just one of those things that a man has to do.
That's
what a
right.
man has to do.
Yeah, well,
If anything happened, your wife, Sean, should get no knickers from you.
no, if it comes to me, if that situation comes to visit me, then I will have to address it.
But do you think
until then,
But how will you do that if you've got
You
such
wouldn't
an
be able
abhorrence?
to.
No, you wouldn't be able to.
you
No,
never know.
Sean, you wouldn't be able to.
You never know.
I know you wouldn't.
Even the rabbit fights back when it's cornered.
No,
I
that's
don't know. I don't know. I just...
Even the rabbit fights back when it's cornered.
That's good,
No, you're
isn't it?
right. But I can never see you. I don't think you've got it in you to buy
don't
knickers.
think so.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think
I've
you've got
had
it
to
in
learn
you.
to cook and...
Yeah.
You know,
Well, did you ever do those? Sorry, I don't mean to pry, but I mean, did you ever do those things before?
No. Well, I did a bit of cooking, but years ago before we were married. Once we got married, she threw me out of the kitchen because I was so slow and ponderous at the cooking, and she was brilliant at it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you don't mind me saying so, I'll tell you what I do. You see, my wife and I have got an equal role. She works and I work, but she has different hours from me. And I can be home much earlier than she is. Now, I could sit at home and sit down and wait for her to come home and make the dinner.
Yeah.
But I choose not to do that because I said to myself, no, that girl's working. I will make the dinner. So I do all that and I do things like that. There's nothing wrong with it. I get great satisfaction. Do you know what I love? I love peeling spuds. I love peeling
Well,
spuds.
I see nothing wrong with that at all, and I
do you
applaud you. And no, that's okay.
You're the man who told me that you have your dinner when you hear the knock on the wall.
Yes, I do.
What does that say to you, sir?
What?
He says he has his dinner when he hears the knock on the wall.
My wife would in the kitchen, and then she would tap on the wall and say, "That means my dinner's ready." And I go into the other room.
You see, but yeah. Well, maybe perhaps this gentleman. What's this gentleman's name?
What's the point in me sitting out there watching my wife cooking when I can watch the chase?
Or indeed, Judge Judy.
Or Judge Judy.
Whatever the case may be.
yeah.
Well, how long has your wife been well, I don't want to say disabled, but
7 years.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
well, fair play to you. And it's a thing that visits a lot of men. They have to, suddenly they find that their partner is not able to do the things they used to do before, and somebody has to do, and you do them.
Yeah.
You're like a man would even buy a Poe.
Oh, yes.
Of course you would.
Give it a thought. Wouldn't give it a thought.
Well, listen, long may you do this.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
long may your wife survive to enjoy what you do for her.
Thank you.
And,
Gerry,
yes.
a wee question for you now. I loved that track you played as I was waiting for the call, the jazz. It's brilliant.
Isn't that brilliant, yeah.
Now, I sent you an email, 6th of this month,
Yes.
about 10 days ago. A photograph of a lady who spoke with you from the Belfast Jazz Orchestra.
Yes.
Audrey
yes.
McAleer.
The lady playing the saxophone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you get that?
Oh, I did. Yeah, it was great. Sorry, I hope I did. I'm sorry, I probably didn't acknowledge that.
No, you didn't.
I must.
But that's par for the course.
I must apologise. No, I must apologise to people.
Did you like the track?
I loved it.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's broadcast quality. I had to reduce it in quality. But I recorded that live, just sitting at my table, down a little bit in the Belfast Jazz Orchestra.
No, I loved that. Thanks. I must just take a general point here, and I have to say to people, many people like yourself very kindly send me lots and lots of stuff. I get so much stuff. Sometimes I don't acknowledge it, and it's not rudeness on my part. It's just the sheer volume of it.
Yeah, I can
sometimes.
understand that.
So I hope you don't mind.
No,
and
no.
All the people, anything that you send to me, I appreciate and I get it. But most times I try and reply, but sometimes a lot of times I don't.
We met you the last time you were down in Downpatrick with Sean Donnelly.
Oh, yes.
Very briefly. At the end of the show, you spoke with us.
Yeah, did you enjoy that show that
We
night?
loved it. And when are you going to do another one with Sean?
Oh, as soon as we... as anybody asks us, basically, we love doing that. It's not it's a labour of love, actually. To be honest
It
with
showed.
you. Oh, for
showed.
God's sake, me and Sean, we do not him in there,
No,
but Sean and I used to do shows. But
apparently, you're inviting me along to the next one. I heard.
No. That's the answer. Well, hopefully we'll see you again in Downpatrick very soon, and good luck to you and your lovely wife.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks very much now. All the best.
Bye.
Excuse me.
Bye.
Excuse me. The gentleman who has really nothing to say is on too.
Oh, good. Gentleman with nothing to say, good morning. He has nothing to say.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry, I thought you had nothing to say. That's okay.
Well, I had nothing to say.
That's all right. Keep saying nothing.
That's Tony here, Gerry. How about you?
I'm all right, Tony. What can I do for you today?
Yes, no, funny. Just when you're talking about jazz there, I was up north. I live down south now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was up north there last week.
Yes.
And my hometown's Comber, where Otley Patterson.
Of course, Otley. Of course, they're celebrating.
Yes, we're celebrating. Well,
what was exactly the anniversary? When did she die?
Yeah, they put a plaque up in Otley's
that's it.
house and what have you.
That's it. Yeah.
Didn't she marry? Was it Chris Barber?
Chris Barber, she married him for many years. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I'm not into jazz. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, she's a great singer. She sounded black.
Oh, she was. Yes, she did.
At that time, when she came to prominence in the 50s, I suppose, late 50s.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
two of them had. Yeah. It's a peculiar Northern Ireland thing.
Gravel voice, but a dull.
Gravelly.
Yeah.
And what about yourself? Yeah.
Funny, who was I listening to this morning? Was Chris Christopherson talking about gravel voices?
Now there's gravel, but see, there's a man who has lived.
Yeah.
You see, there's a man.
Have you watched his video of his life?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, here, I'll give it to you.
No, I don't have to watch it. I know his life.
Yeah, but for your viewers, or your listeners rather.
The listeners, indeed.
Yeah, it's brilliant, Gerry.
What's it called again?
It's called www.
Yeah.
KULT.
Yeah.
UR.com.
Yeah. Okay, so you can check that out.
KUTL. Sorry, KULTU.
What is that again? Now start again.
It's www.KULTUR.com.
Culture.
Culture, yes.
The way we spell it.
But it's brilliant. It's all, Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and Jackson Brown and Harry Dean, Joan Baez, his whole life.
The scary thing about that is they call that kind of music now that people like Chris Christopherson and Johnny Cash recorded. They call that Americana.
As if it's, they call it.
Do you know Americana? You know what I mean? Because country music in America has turned into rock and roll. You see?
Is that right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's turned into rock and roll.
Yeah,
which is good. I love it. I love it.
They really started it all, really, didn't they?
I love it because it's turned into rock and roll, and it's just. I think it's fantastic. So to differentiate between American country music now and those guys, they call it Americana.
All right.
Anyway, what any other thing we can do for you today?
Yeah, just apologise to the people in Comber and wish them all the best for the big year coming up with the Titanic.
Yes, indeed. Of course, Thomas Andrews came from Succumber.
Oh, of course he did. Yes, the Andrews family still call in to see my father. They're in a fold.
Well, tell me about your father again. I know
my father worked all his life for Andrews in the linen mill.
Is that right?
And they always wanted Thomas to work for them, but Thomas, he wasn't.
Thomas being.
Thomas had designed the Titanic.
Thomas, who always wanted Thomas to work for him?
The family did, because they owned the
his family,
tenant.
Thomas Andrews' family.
Yes.
Oh, they wanted him to go into the family business.
Yes.
But he was more interested.
No, he was more seafaring.
I was in his house, you know.
Were you down in Ardara?
Yes, I was.
Well, I lived next. I used to play tennis up in the tennis court there.
And can I ask you something about that house? A friend of mine had an apartment. I think it was on the first floor.
Yes.
It wasn't apartments, wasn't it?
Yes.
And he brought me up, and I called in to see him, and he told me it was Thomas Andrews' house, and I was very interested in it. And he showed me a lot of the woodwork around the walls.
I was going to say that. He's going to talk about the wood.
Is that
yes,
true?
It is, yes.
Well, tell me what you know about that.
It's the woodwork out of it was left over from the Titanic.
Yeah, that's what the guy told me. But you know, sometimes you take it with a pinch of salt.
No.
But I looked at this big, all this woodwork around and I looked at it. I went, oh my God!
It's a lovely house, though, wasn't it?
Oh my God! I looked at that and I said to myself, if this is true, what must the Titanic have been? Yeah. I'm going to. Do you know where I'm going today?
Yeah.
I'm doing a wee documentary for Radio 4 about the Titanic, which will be broadcast on the day of the anniversary of the sinking. And I'm looking forward, this afternoon I'm going into the Titanic exhibition building.
In Belfast?
Yeah, which hasn't been opened yet.
Oh, right.
It's not opening until the 31st of March, but I'm having a sneak preview.
Sure.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Looking forward to it. There was a great programme on Saturday morning, you know about it.
What was that?
On Radio Ulster.
Oh, I missed that.
Yes, so sure, I rang my dad and he was raging because he missed it. It was on about 9 o'clock, I think.
So tell me the connection with Andrews again. Tell me more about that. Apparently, from what you can read and everything, apparently his role in the Titanic sinking was as a hero, really.
Yes, he actually went up and threw, any chairs and plastic things and everything off to help people try and, something to grab onto.
And never for a moment did it occur to him that he might try and save himself. He went down with the ship.
No, he stood at the fireplace.
Well, he was the fellow who told the captain that the ship was going to sink.
Yeah, well, it was the captain that made it. I mean, it wasn't...
There's lots of talk about the captain losing his nerve.
Oh, no, yes, I heard it that he shot himself, but that wasn't
true.
No,
not that he shot himself, but apparently what happened, I've been reading quite a lot about it because I've been doing this program.
Yeah.
Apparently what people are saying, the general impression given is that this man had been a sailor been a sailor for 40 years. He'd worked on the liners. He had never even had the slightest accident, ever.
Right.
And this was his last voyage.
No, but he was speeding.
No, but he was retiring.
Yes,
he
he was trying to beat the speed record.
No, they say that's not true. That's not. He was under no pressure. The people who owned the White Star Line were on. They did not put him under any pressure. There's a lot of doubt about that. A lot of people assumed that he was speeding.
Yes.
I think from everything that I can read,
I know he
I
wasn't
don't think he was. But apparently, what happened was what they say was they're trying to figure out. I read stuff with some psychologists, stuff like that. Apparently, he was winding down from a career, and this was his last voyage. He was retiring after this voyage.
Oh, right.
And then, or maybe it was after the voyage that was coming back. Anyway, this was his last round trip. Let's put it that way. So, when the ship hit the iceberg, Thomas Andrews came up to him and says, "Listen, this ship's going down." And Smith went, "What? It's going down." So long have we got? So an hour and a half, and that's it. And apparently, the captain just kind of closed down, and he didn't give really any orders after that, and he was very slow to do anything, and he just stayed up on the bridge. And there's talk that he shot himself, but there's no proof of that.
No.
And a number of passengers have said that they saw him in the water, actually swimming. There's all kinds of controversy about that, but apparently he just closed down. He ceased to function. And psychologists say that this is the thing that happens if you go through your whole life, in relative everything's great, and then suddenly it all goes pear-shaped. You just kind of, it's almost like you become catatonic.
Right.
He was incapable.
Yes.
Anyway, what a great story. Catatonic. There's just so many aspects of Titanic. That'll go on forever. People are worrying in case that people will lose interest in the Titanic.
Oh no, I think everybody in the world probably knows about it.
It's just there's so many. Once you start getting into that, once you start reading about it, and once you start realizing all the things that happened, you could spend your lifetime studying it and never be bored. Anyway,
I'm lucky to have been so close to.
So tell me about Andrews again. What do you know about it through your family and all that kind of thing?
Well, just that my father worked in the they owned half of Comber.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know Comber at all?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Well, they own. Well, sure, you've been down to Ardara.
Yeah.
Well, they owned half of the town. They were.
Yeah. Almost like a feudal thing. Maybe less than that.
They were great employers, in those days, the linen trade wasn't a great payer, but my dad, he worked his way up to manager, and luckily we got a lovely big house just next door to Ardara.
Ardara, yeah.
And then he took a bad heart.
Thomas Andrews, of course, designed the Titanic. Basically, he was in charge of the construction of it.
No.
He was in charge. He was in charge of the construction of it.
But my father, whenever he took his bad heart, he wasn't able to work. So they told him he could have his day in the big house, where we lived. And they were very good to him, and they put him in for. He got one of those OBEs, MBEs, or RTEs, or whatever you call them. And now he's still my mother and dad's still alive in Comber, so it's great. And Mr. John Andrews still comes down to see them from time to time.
So there's a lot of Andrews still there?
Oh yes, well, Mr. Tom and Diane, they're a lovely couple. They'd be the younger, I think.
Did they ever talk to you about that, about Thomas or anything?
No.
Probably not.
They're very sort of private people that way.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
They're.
Well, what a hero.
Oh yes, indeed. Yeah. Well, I say, it's just a pity that what happened, you know.
Mm-hmm. As they say in Belfast, it was all right when it left here. All right, listen, thank you very much.
Okay, Jerry.
Thanks a million.
Sorry for taking up your time.
Oh no, I enjoyed talking to you. Thank you very much.
Well, I say it's going to be a big year for.
Oh, biggest year ever.
Ah, yes. Well, I hope a lot of people come to see it.
Oh, they will. They will.
I think everybody's.
When that Titanic exhibition opens the 31st, you watch them. Go to it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, Jerry.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
There must be something wrong with me. What it is, I can't quite see. I can't seem to do nothing right. Never need to change my style. Been this way for a long, long while. Maybe there's a few things I ought to fix. Can you teach an old dog tricks? Wanna put a little fire in my life. Climb a little high, daddy's right. Tired of his ordinary bullshit. Never need to change my style. Been this way for a long, long while. Baby, there's a few things I ought to fix. Can you teach an old dog new tricks? Yes, sir. Can you teach an old dog new tricks? Well, that right. Maybe I should leave well enough alone. I might not be perfect, but I'm mean to the bone. I'll need to change my style. Been this way for a long, long while. There ain't nothing that I got to fix. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't teach an old dog. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't teach an old dog You can't teach an old dog. You can't teach an old dog tricks. Can't teach. Have mother. Can't teach. Can't teach. Well, I'm working like a dog just to keep her satisfied. She's been spending all my money just as fast as I provide. My life's a living hell when it used to be like heaven. She keeps my nose to the grindstone 24/7. You wouldn't treat a dog like that. kind of guy. I never had a worry or a teardrop in my eye. And since I met you, baby, I'm just fit to be tied. I work my fingers to the bone just to keep you satisfied. I wouldn't treat a dog like that. No, you wouldn't treat a dog like that. You wouldn't treat a dog like that. Ah, you know, man. You wouldn't treat a dog like that. Told me that she loved me, but I guess that was a lie. She went away and left me for a richer kind of guy. If you're wondering how I'm feeling now that the crazy bud has flown, I'm a happy little doggy now that I'm living all alone. You wouldn't treat a dog like that. Nah, you wouldn't treat a dog like that. You wouldn't treat a dog like that. Oh, yeah, man. You wouldn't treat a dog like that. No, you wouldn't treat a dog like that. You wouldn't treat a dog like that. You wouldn't treat a dog like that. Oh, you know it, man. You wouldn't treat a dog like that. No, you wouldn't treat a dog like that. Oh, you know it, man.
You know, people think this show is just thrown together. They don't realise that the concept that we continually keep in our minds is one of synchronicity. Now, for instance, did you realise that those two songs played together were both dog songs?
Of course.
You did not. You're saying that because you're trying to keep ahead of the posse. The first one, of course, was Seasick Steve, otherwise known as Seabag Willie.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Seabag Willie.
No, what did I call
Sickbag Willie.
Sickbag Willie.
Sickbag Willie, and that was a song called You Wouldn't Treat a Dog. No, what's it? I see, I forget now. Look, I can't find the thing. Where is it now? Seasick Willie. God bless you.
Do you hear that?
You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And secondly, we had the Mighty Mojos from Ballymena, and that was a track called You Wouldn't Treat a Dog Like That, so therefore two dog songs. Synchronicity, what am I talking about? What were we talking about, that man on the phone, about Cumber, right? And then we find that the Mighty Mojos are playing in Cumber this Saturday. They're playing live in the Endler Delta Blues Club in Cumber this Saturday. That's the Mighty Mojos. David McLean writes to tell me that. And also on the subject of Seasick Steve was discovered basically in Belfast, wasn't he? At that particular festival. Remember, was that the Out to Lunch festival that we attended one time?
No.
Which one was it?
No. It was the city, the quarter, the
Cathedral Quarter Festival. Well, those are those wonderful festivals, those wonderful music festivals in Belfast that have enlivened Belfast over the past few years. They're very kindly, Delson McCausland is trying very kindly to get them stopped. They're going to stop they're stopping all the grants for those.
Are they?
And people should really, really protest against that because
I know what it was.
It's an amazing thing because those festivals have been the life and soul of Belfast, and it's a shame if they're allowed to go. It's a downright shame. I don't know what the people are thinking of, even thinking of banning those. Yes. Can you wait until here's an idea. Why don't you wait until people finish? You know what I mean? If you're sitting in a bar and a guy's talking, don't you wait until he finishes, and then you talk. I mean, I wait until you finish. You see, you're finished now. That's why I'm talking. I'm finished now too.
Right. You know your festival that you launched last night?
Yes.
No, you
I didn't launch a festival last night.
Yes, you did.
You launched a concept.
You own it. It's your square. It's Gerry Anderson Square. It is. Everybody will call it Gerry Anderson Square.
Well, I hope when I go they will, yes.
That's well, it'll not be known as Everington Square. It'll be Gerry
Anderson Square.
Anderson Square.
Yes.
Anyway, your square.
Yes.
A lady says that she came down to see you open your square last night. And she travelled all the way from Armagh.
Yes. Did she? Lovely.
And, will you hear this?
Well.
She drove around this town for over an hour.
Yes.
Not a sign pointing to your square.
Well, that's probably...
she said she was at one stage she was on her way to Moville.
Well, there's no square at all.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's,
could
that's,
you get a few signs
yes,
up to your square?
That's a genuine
Yes.
complaint, yes.
So there you are.
Oh,
Get
so
that
there we are.
sorted.
People take note, no signs. See, people in Derry, Circle and Derry assume that you know where it is. You don't realise there are people coming from outside.
The fact that I've brought up the fact that there's no signs, could the signs be called my signs? Coiled signs?
Yeah, let's have a coiled sign
Sign
to
to
Anderson
Anderson
Square.
Square.
Yes. Great St. Valentine's Day show, kid. If you can't say it with flowers, say it with bullets, like Al Capone. I saw an old faker trying to raise his cobra in a field near Malin Head. His old pipe was wailing, the magic was fading, alas. The old snake was dead. Don't you just hate it when that happens? Tommy, my cat, wearing a pair of wrinkled tights, leapt into the room like Rudolph Nureyev and cried, "Here I go. Watch me pirouette. On dirait, shut down doors. For petite feline pet, pas de chat, the step of the cat. I leap high in the air, bourri, bourri. I bend my knee and stick out my derriere, London derriere, or indeed just plain Derry. Bravo, I yelled. Encore, encore, I can't encore. There is no more, said Tommy, changing back into his grey flannel trousers and blue blazer with the crest of the Greta Garbo School for Wayward Boys and Girls in the front. Where did Tommy get the blazer? I don't know. Tommy stood at the window, stuck out his tongue in the general direction of Iran, and said, "Up at Starmount! Sammy Wilson is spending money hand over fist." "I know," I yelled. "For the first time in history, there's going to be a road in Tyrone. A big road, which goes places. How great is that?" Tommy drew a picture of a parrot, placed it on his shoulder and said, "Not everyone is over the lunar landscape. Just 17 minutes ago, by my 8 Samuel Everett watch, bespeckled Sinn Féiner and small person, Barry McElduff leaped to his feet and made this impassioned speak. Mr. Speaker, and shuckin' buckin' his dad. That's Irish, of course. Mr. Speaker, I thank the Minister for his offer of the first road in County Tyrone. But does the Minister know that this will sound the death knell for a grand old tradition in that county? I refer, of course, to cutting across the fields. Since time began, the people of Tyrone have been cutting across the fields because they had no choice. I myself cut across the fields to get to school. Ah, I know what this means. I have travelled from Derry to Belfast behind a slurry spreader at a mean speed of 15 miles per hour, praying for a motorway which never came. My father cuts across the fields to get to the bog, and my sainted mother cut across the fields to buy me a new second-hand suit when I first entered Starmount. Cutting across the fields is a proud tradition that the people of Tyrone will fight to retain. I shudder to think of a generation of Tyrone cubs and cuddies who may never know the great thrill of cutting across fields. If this new road leads to trouble in the streets, I must warn the Minister, I'll cut across the fields to lead the protest. Up Tyrone! Up, cutting across the fields, up Tyrone, I'm on the bushes. Sammy Wilson got to his feet with a pained expression, what else, and said, "Barry, do you want a flippin' road or not?" Barry leapt to his feet and said, "Yes, I want the road, but with stipulations. I have levity. When the big road is built, I insist that everyone in Tyrone be issued with a licence to cut across the fields if they want." "Carried," roared Jim McAllister, rolling up his sash.
Yeah. There's calls backing up for you, you know.
Rock and roll.
We have a bank of calls, people waiting to talk to you.
Yeah,
Would you
rock
talk-
and roll. Rock and roll.
The woman I love took from my best friend. Some joker got lucky, stole her back again. But you better come on in my kitchen, 'cause it's going to be raining outdoors. When a woman gets in trouble, everybody throws her down, looking for a good friend, but none can be found. Say you better come on in my kitchen, 'cause it's going to be raining outdoors. You better come on in my kitchen, 'cause it's going to be raining outdoors. I went to the mountain, far as my eyes could see. Some other man got my woman, lonesome blues got me. You better come on in my kitchen, girl, it's going to better come on in my kitchen, 'cause it's going to be raining outdoors. It's going to be raining outdoors. It's going to be raining outdoors. It's going to be raining outdoors.
Great. That's the Mighty Mojos again, and that's a track called, let me just check what that's called, Come In My Kitchen. Look, I forgot about this. A lady writes to me and she said, when you go to the Titanic Quarter today, to the Titanic exhibition, I hope you wear your T-shirt. Do you remember I had that T-shirt a long time ago?
That's
I
right.
still have it at home. Do you remember what it said?
It was all right, but left here.
No.
No. Get over it.
It sailed, it sunk, get over it.
Yeah.
I like that T-shirt.
There's a wee call for you in one.
You've been trying to get this through for a long
No,
time.
no, this is a different one.
A different one, is it?
No, we have given up. I've just abandoned ship.
Yes, hello, good morning. Abandoned
Good morning.
ship. Titanic talk again. Yes, how are you, sir?
Good morning, Gerry.
Good morning.
Directions to Fintona.
Yes.
Come into Omagh.
Yes.
Head out the Belfast Road, heading for Ballygolly and Dungannon.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
Yes.
That's what I meant to say.
Opposite the Omagh Meat Factory.
How romantic.
There is a turning to your right, and Fintona is 8 mile out that road.
All right, that's good to know.
Where's the Omagh Meat Factory?
I don't know. I'm afraid
as you leave Omagh.
It's just leave on the where there used to be a bad bend.
Yes.
There will now follow a lot of talk about the location of the Omagh Meat Factory. And now I know that the Omagh Meat Factory is very important to the people who work in the Omagh Meat Factory. And I know that meat is very important to the people of Omagh. But at the moment, at 4 minutes to 12, I really don't want to talk about the Omagh Meat Factory. And I know it will disturb people there. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. You people finished yet?
I think you should sell televisions or something there at one time or something. On the bad bend, to straighten that road out now, it's a better bend now, isn't it?
It's a better bend now, apparently. Long may the Omagh Meat Factory continue to serve its employees and indeed the immediate vicinity with meat and pork and sausages and bacon and liver and black pudding, chain bones and ribs, fillet and sirloin steak.
Wherever you go, there you are. There is no escape from your own heart. Time is marching on, and all my plans are a memory. I am stranded here, but in my mind I can see Shimna Vale, Shimna Vale,
Shimna Vale, Bob Kennedy.
Where my poor shipwrecked heart longs to dwell. I was young and foolish then. How I long to return to Shimna Vale.
Oh, look what I forgot.
What?
Look what I forgot. I forgot this. I forgot to play this for... Oh, I have to play this.